SAF President Danny Jordan has called for stronger player welfare in South African football following the funeral of young footballer Jaden Adams. Jordan says it's deeply worrying that more young players are dying before the age of 25 and believes football must do more to protect them beyond the pitch. He is calling for better psychological support for players, similar to the mental wellness programs already available to Banyana Banyana. The message is clear: talent alone is not enough. Young footballers also need the right support to thrive and survive.
The family of Jaden Adams, his father, was probably the mentor, the shaper of Jaden, who would not have known Jaden, have not seen his talent, if his father did not walk with him and shaped him. So I want to thank you. You have the name of a football player. Your wife, Candace, thank you very much. Ronaldo, Jamie Lee, Amy, thank you for giving us your brother, your son, and helping us to make an impact in the global world of football. In this World Cup, it's Jaden's World Cup. Never in the history of football do you have the whole tournament coming to a complete stop. Everything ceased when England and Norway stood in absolute silence in the memory of Jaden. It has never happened. No tournament was stopped. So Jaden gave us that special gift, and we'll remember him. I want to secondly acknowledge our leaders here, the Minister of Sport, Mr. Gayton McKenzie, who was with us in Pachuca in Mexico when we got the news of the loss of Jaden's grandmother. And he came and spent some time with the team and with Jaden, and spent a lot of time talking to, motivating the players. So I want to thank you, Mr. Gayton McKenzie, for always being there, and particularly in this difficult moment that you came to share with Jaden. We also have the President of CAF and the Vice President of FIFA, Dr. Patrice Motsepe, who has transformed and reshaped African football. And we want to thank him for being continued inspiration for not only Jaden, but for players on the African continent, that you continue inspiring them, both men and women, and giving a new perspective of what football can achieve. Your wife, Dr. Patrice, Patience Motsepe, thank you for always being there and supporting your husband. Whenever Patrice is around, you are there in support of him. And we appreciate you and we want to thank you. The chairman of Mamelodi Sundowns, which became the home of Jaden, the support of Jaden, many of the teammates of Sundowns were not just teammates, they became soulmates of Jaden. Many of them from Stellenbosch, many of them from the Western Cape, making sure that Jaden continues to deliver for South African football. Now, We want to tell the family that we're here to convey our sympathy, our condolences, and compassion in this difficult period of time. To Akila and the children, we want to give you the assurance of your support, because you have a difficult task to explain to your children who Jaden was and what Jaden's contribution was. You have to explain to them the role of their father, the impact that their father had on the South African society. And we want to make sure that you understand the great challenge that you have. We are there to support you. One of the things that stood out for me was when we were in Abidjan to play against Benin. It was a World Cup qualifier, and that match was going to seal the qualification of Bafana Bafana in the 2026 World Cup. Jaden was our midfielder to support the team on attack and to secure the defense when it was time to defend. That match was the match, in my view, that closed out the possibility for Benin. Benin was the biggest threat, not Nigeria, and therefore we understood that match we had to win. It was Jaden's friend, Basadine, who first ran on the left wing, crossed the ball for Ryan Foster to score. The team was still under pressure. And then it was the other friend of Jaden, also an Apollos, who crossed the ball into the penalty box. Now you know that Benin players are tall, they are giants, but somehow Jaden landed in that penalty box and outjumped them and scored a header to secure a 2-0 victory for Bafana. That was the end of Benin. So we knew we are going to go to the World Cup. And whether they deducted 3 points or they don't deduct 3 points, we are probably the only team that qualified for the World Cup in spite of the fact that 3 points were deducted. Jaden secured a significant lead to secure that place in the World Cup. So we want to say to you that we appreciate Jaden's talent, Jaden's contribution, because we were there with him in Abidjan, in Pachuca in Mexico, and we saw in both good and bad times the Jaden that made a contribution to South African football. We saw in this World Cup Norway and England observing a minute of silence in recognition of the contribution of Jaden to football. They didn't know him very well, but they knew of his talent. They saw him on the field of play, and therefore they appreciated what he contributed in that World Cup. And in celebrating that moment, we think back of where it started and who started it. We want to thank you. We want to thank you because Jaden is not the only player that we lost. We lost Jaden. We lost one of Jaden's friends, also from Stellenbosch. We lost, he was 19 at the time. He was in our under-20 team when we got the sad news that he was no more. We lost Gibbs Remy at 22 years old. And we lost many others below the age of 25. So what we have to do as South African football is to begin to understand the pressures that players are under, to perform pressures that we don't share normally in an environment where the demand is on a technical preparation for the team, the coach has its demands, and no one deals with what are the issues confronting each one of our players. What is their difficulties? What is their problems? And we have to provide not just a coach, but also the support for the players in the team beyond football. We have done that for our Banyana players. We've employed additional people to provide psychological, social support for each and every player. And it's very clear that we need to restructure the technical component in support of the team and the players, because it has become very clear that this is a major omission that we have to deal with. One of the things that South Africa needs is to revisit the funding model for sport. In Australia, all the support for sport comes from the lotto, and so is in Britain. In South Africa, there is no direct contribution to football or to sport in general. And this is another point that we have to take up with the Minister of Sport. In 1994, when we started the process of looking of additional funds, it was agreed that sports lottery will be a major component, and all of the money generated through sport lotteries will go directly to support sport. Somehow, in that process, sport was left out, and that allocation and that contribution to sport has totally been forgotten and is not on the table. But we have to put it back on the table because it's very clear. We cannot just have preparation of the team to play. We have to take a total view of the football player as a human being and all the other challenges that a human being will face in this modern environment, and give the support, and therefore go back, Mr. Minister. We're going to come and sit down with you to deal with confirmed allocations to sport. The other problem was raised with the former players and the association. We are one of the few countries where when you retire, it's the end of revenue or income for you. After that, you're on your own. When you're on the field, the revenue flows. Once you're off the field, you're on your own. We have to deal with these issues, and certainly we know that the minister is sympathetic. We have to restructure the funding model, and we will be in your doorstep early next week, Mr. Minister. We want to thank the family that they opened our eyes. They gave us the opportunity to look again at the many issues that confront football people. And therefore, we want to thank the father and the mother for your contribution and support. We had many letters of condolences from the English FA, right through from Palestine Football Association, expressing condolence and support for Jaden and the Adams family in Stellenbosch. So we are here to say farewell, Jaden. May the Adams family be blessed. May they find comfort in the memory of a man who made his contribution and brought so many joys to South Africans. We hope that tomorrow we will have hope again, and to the mother of Jaden's children, we want to thank you for taking care of Jaden's children in these difficult circumstances. Jaden's passing expressed solidarity for the family, and in this unprecedented moment of the post-World Cup, one of the things that will dominate South Africa is the passing of Jaden. We express on the family, please take care. We are with you. We will support you, and we will be in touch with you. Janito, thank you very much.
Thank you to the President of the South African Football Association, Dr. Danny Jordan, for those words there. I'm sure he's wearing number 23 at the back of that shirt.